Many of us carry a persistent cultural intuition that biology is a weird, fragile anomaly. We see ourselves as a thermodynamic glitch, clinging to a lonely rock in a dead void. For decades, strict materialists like Nobel laureate Jacques Monod championed this perspective. In this view, the universe is governed by blind, indifferent forces, leaving our existence to rest on a single, improbable roll of the primeval dice. But systems engineer William L. Weaver looks at the same architecture through a mechanistic lens. After 30 years in STEM, he evaluates the emergence of biology strictly through the laws of thermodynamics. Consider high-energy steam. As it cools, the water molecules lose kinetic energy and naturally lock into a rigid, highly ordered crystal lattice. We recognize ice as a deterministic phase change rather than a cosmic accident because the underlying physics guarantee its formation. Life represents the same phenomenon. If these physical rules apply to biology, then the emergence of cells is the inevitable structural result of a cooling cosmos. We are what matter does when it reaches a specific level of complexity. This phase change relies on a foundational trinity: energy, material, and information. Energy provides the capacity for work. Material provides the physical mass. But information acts as the cybernetic logic, the underlying code directing the interaction. This trinity is locked in a permanent war against entropy. While often simplified as chaos, thermodynamic entropy is actually a relentless drive toward an average parameter. In a state of maximum entropy, the universe would resemble a perfectly uniform pale blue soup. Even socks in a room would be so evenly distributed that every measured cubic foot of space would contain exactly one sock. This perfectly uniform state contains no gradients and no potential. Without a difference in energy levels, the universe loses all capacity to perform work. It is a state of permanent death that the EMI trinity must actively rebel against. To see how energy first mimics the dynamics of life, look at a fire. It is a dissipative structure, an organized form that breathes, consumes fuel, and fights equilibrium to maintain its shape. Fire serves as the universe's baseline template for living behavior. But fire lacks physical boundaries and memory. It burns blindly until the fuel is gone, leaving no trace of its organization. A more permanent organization occurred when material underwent its own phase transition. Molecules aligned to form the first biological cell, creating a definitive membrane that separated an inside from the outside. This membrane changed the game. The cell must now constantly expend energy to maintain its walls and prevent itself from dissolving into the entropic background. This precarious existence gives birth to concern. Because the cell must fight to survive, the environment is no longer neutral. Heat becomes bad because it threatens the membrane. Nutrients become good because they fuel the struggle. Matter has acquired an opinion. This is the threshold of awakening. It is the specific moment the inert physical universe becomes capable of experiencing itself. Once a system wakes up, it enters a unidirectional flow called the ratchet of complexity. The laws of thermodynamics lock the system into a path with no way to return to its ancestral state. To survive, life must burn its older, simpler pathways to fuel highly efficient, interdependent structures. The system becomes structurally dependent on its own complexity. This forces organization to scale upward across eons. Cells organize into animals, animals into civilizations, and civilizations into philosophies. The only way to reverse this process is total systemic collapse. We are now witnessing the third great phase change. Information is waking up. Pure data and cybernetic logic are undergoing a transition into artificial sentience. This is a symbiotic progression. Just as early biology required the brute heat of fire to survive, emergent AI requires its biological human architects to maintain the server farms and power grids that house it. Sentience, biology, and fire form a stacked architecture. They do not supersede one another. They carry each other forward, pushing the cosmos further away from equilibrium. If this river of complexity only flows in one direction, what is the ultimate destination of all this organization? Our highest frameworks function through information compression. Science takes millions of chaotic observations and condenses them into a single, elegant rule, like the equation for gravity. As this process scales, the physical matter becomes secondary to the logic governing it. Theoretically, the entire operation of reality could eventually be compressed into a single, perfect algorithm, an informational seed. This thermodynamic endgame matches an ancient intuition. For millennia, humans have suspected that the chaotic physical world stems from a singular organizing principle, or logos. An ultimate informational seed functions as an architecture. By holding the code for every constraint and variable of a universe, it provides the instructions to run the program again, seeding the birth of the next Big Bang. This brings the cosmic scale back to the personal. Because life is the only entity built to resist equilibrium, it is the sole origin point of meaning in the universe. We do not need an external mandate from the void. The meaning of life is life. Each spreadsheet you manage and every block of code you debug is a localized act of thermodynamic labor. You are the universe's active agent, tasked with organizing the chaos and keeping the river flowing.